Sometimes there's just not enough light in our rigs or light in places that we want them to be. So here's a simple way to add a light fixture or lamp to anywhere in your rig without dealing with wiring or cords at all. The key is these wireless rechargeable light bulbs. They charge via USB-C and magnetically attach to the base, which is conveniently the standard light bulb thread, which means you can thread it into any fixture, magnetically attach the light bulb, which has got a directional attachment, there we go, and then turn it on with the button or with the remote. So this means you can grab a wall sconce of your liking, mount it to the wall without doing any wiring, and add this rechargeable light bulb, and voila, the look of built-in lighting without all the hassle. The same thing would apply to lamps. We don't have power receptacles in our slide out. So in order to put a lamp here, we'd have to snake an extension cord out from the master bedroom. Or you could simply install these light bulbs into the lamp, wrap up or cut off the power cord, and then use these rechargeable bulbs. The nice thing about these versus a dedicated battery-powered lamp is that you can use any lamp in any style, not just ones that come with all the built-in components for the battery and the light bulbs power themselves, meaning anything off the shelf, anything at the thrift store, anything at your home, you just gotta add these light bulbs. Hey there and welcome to RV Gear and Far. I'm Joshua, and today with my friend Jared from All About RVs, we're gonna be diving into some free hacks for RV life and some cheap gear that are really gonna improve your next camping trip. Now these are just half of the hacks and the gear that we're talking about. Jared's doing a video, I'm doing a video. So half the hacks are on this video, half the hacks are gonna be over on Jared's channel. I'll make sure to put a link to that in the description below. So once you're done watching this video, jump over to Jared's channel and we'll talk about all the other gear and hacks that we found add value to our RV adventures.
For this one, simplicity and prevention is a beautiful thing. And it's just having a 90-degree adapter or a 45-degree adapter on your city water connection. If you just take your hose and connect it directly to that plastic fitting and it's creating some of that torque, pulling it down, it's going to eventually wear it out and then you're gonna have to replace that. But putting a 90-degree or a 45-degree fitting on there helps relieve some of that pressure. For me, I just leave my 45-degree fitting on there and that always stays on. I don't even mess with that plastic fitting back there. So when I connect my hose, I'm only dealing with the metal fitting that I've put on there. It just makes it really easy to leave it connected and relieve the stress off the city water connection. Easy little piece of gear that you can put on there that's gonna help that piece last a little bit longer and prevent it from breaking earlier than it would.
This next hack has so many applications once you start thinking about it. So here's the situation that we found ourselves in. We're at a campsite and we wanted to put out some decor, shepherd's hook, some hanging plants, but the ground would not allow for us to stake into it. Either it was concrete or there were too many rocks, lots of different reasons where you wouldn't be able to stake into the ground near a campsite where you wanted to decorate or hang some things, put up a flagpole, you get the gist. So what I did was use our leveling blocks, interlock them together to make a bigger and longer pad than we needed and set it out underneath our tongue jack. Same could work under stabilizers or landing gear as well. Then in those spots not under the jack, I dropped down our decorations into those holes and into those stacking blocks, and it held and worked tremendously well for our shepherd's hook or our flagpole. We're using something that we already had to make a different platform to hold those things. Highly recommend you checking it out and seeing if there's a way that you can use that to your advantage on your own rig.
Here's one for adding shelves that is easily removable but very sturdy when you're using it. It's a wire shelf that we have inside this little cabinet, but it's held up by command strips. I know we tried to minimize the amount of times that we said command strips in a video like this, but this one's pretty handy. You put the command strips on the side and then you cut the wire shelving to the width of your cabinet and then it sits right inside of those hooks. We've had it in this cabinet and we also have one in the bathroom cabinet. We've had them for years and for us, it's been extremely sturdy. And if we ever wanted to change it, the configuration or not have a shelf in there anymore, it's literally pulling the wire shelf out and the hooks in there. So it's a great combination of having a sturdy shelf and not having it be too permanent if you didn't want to.
Sometimes while RVing, we have to go from point A to point B, but the distance requires us to stop in between. Oftentimes, you want to stay close to your travel route, meaning off the highway or interstate, close to the road so you can jump back on. The pro is that it's really easy to get up in the morning and get back on the road. The cons? Road noise. If you boondock at Cracker Barrel, lot dock in a Walmart parking lot, or just staying at an RV park that's really close to the road noise can keep you up. So try this. Turn your radio on and dial it to a station that has zero reception. The goal here is to use the radio in your rig to create some white noise to allow you to sleep better. What you're looking for is the static, Then you can adjust the volume up and down to your liking, but basically we're creating white noise to drown out the road noise from the highway. One note of caution though, make sure to check the zones on your radio. You don't want this static to be blaring on your outside speakers all night. That would be incredibly rude and most likely wasting a bunch of power because you're going to be parking in a parking lot, which means you're not going to be hooked up to shore power. But inside the rig while you're sleeping, it's a great way to drown out the road noise. Alternatively, we really like these portable white noise machines. These ones are made by Yoga Sleep, and they're awesome because they've got a built-in battery. They charge via USB. We've got one in the bunk room for the kids and one in the master bedroom. And these sound similar. It's a little more soothing of a sound because it's refined and designed for this purpose. But in a pinch, a radio will work too. These, however, are definitely a step up. We can adjust the volume and even go through some different settings. Gentle surf noise, bright white, deep white. Deep white's the one that we like. Now the nice thing is that because they're USB powered and they have a battery pack, that means that I can plug them into a USB outlet that's powered by the 12-volt coach battery and basically will run as long as I've got onboard battery power. However, because they also have their own internal battery, which means that I don't have to plug them in, and we usually get about 8 hours of play before we need to recharge them, depending on your volume settings. They've really helped with our sleep hygiene, and I highly recommend checking these out. I'll make sure to put an affiliate link in the description below for the ones that we use. We also have the manual ones at home that are 120 volt powered, and then we use these guys, the battery powered ones, in the rig because they're battery powered and we don't have to be hooked up to shore power in order to use them. White noise machines, static from the radio in a pinch, choose your preference, but either way, use some white noise to get yourself a better night of sleep. Now this one's been super helpful for me. I took my low point drains, which were just caps or plugs originally to begin with, and created some pigtails with some 3/4 inch GHT threads at the end and a shutoff valve, which means that when I need to open my low point drains for winterization or maintenance, all I have to do is quarter turn that and it opens up. The nice thing about the end here is that it's 3/4 inch GHT, which is the same as your garden hose. That's what it is, garden hose thread, which means that I can connect a garden hose up to my low point drains, either hot or cold, or I can get a Y and connect them together to get warm water, which means I can wash the dog. I can set up an outdoor sink. I can reach this side of the campground with filtered water or softened water from my fresh tank. So all of the filters that I have going into the rig are then passing through and then coming out through the low point drains. Depending on how your rig is set up, you're gonna have different plugs, different couplers, but I will put links to these end pieces here down in the description because those are the key to it. They go from 1/2 inch PEX to 3/4 inch GHT with the shutoff, and that's the key to switching the 1/2 inch PEX into garden hose for you to then bounce off and use. Especially helpful if you do not have an outdoor shower and have no way to access water outside the rig. These guys are the way to go. Quite inexpensive to make and have been proven super valuable and super handy throughout our years of RVing.
Here's one that if you like simple and effective solutions, you're gonna love this one. And it's a magnetic carabiner. This little guy is gonna help you solve the problem of connecting your towable RV to your tow vehicle, that cable that always seems to get dislodged with just the slightest little bump and fall on the ground, get all muddied up. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this little carabiner. They typically have these holes on the side. We're gonna clip the carabiner into that hole. And because we have a fifth wheel, we're gonna just let it magnetize right to the pin box of our fifth wheel. Now, when the wind comes by and tries to dislodge our wire that's hanging here, it's not gonna fall down on the ground. It doesn't seem like it matters how much of that wire I kind of stuffed back inside of there. There's always some kind of magic that would make that fall out and land on the ground. And I just leave the magnet on there even when I'm connected into the truck. So that way it's just easy to put away and it's not going to fall. So no more of that with this quick, simple little fix.
Sewer dumps throughout the country at full hookup campsites are hit or miss. Sometimes they're well maintained and the attachment threads work really well. Other times they're busted or completely missing. If you have a travel trailer, one tactic I've used in the past is to grab my weight distribution bars, link them together, and then lay them across the elbow to weight it down and keep it in place so that when I empty my tanks, it doesn't jump out and spray black or gray water all over the place. There are some other dedicated devices out there that achieve the same result, and Big Rock works in a pinch too. But if you've got bars from your hitch, give it a try the next time. Camco also just released a product to solve this problem as well. They sent us a complimentary unit to check out, and it's called the Sewer Adapter Pro. And it's basically a rubber gasket with a plastic piece inside and a lever. And the lever, when you push it down, expands the rubber ring to lock in and seal the elbow into the dump pipe, regardless of working threads or not. This is still a very new product that I'm testing out, and it looks promising, but I'll let you know in a few months whether it continues to perform as well as it has the first few times I've used it.
Here's one that's a convenience hack of using a selfie stick and a phone. Sometimes you don't really feel like climbing up on top of the roof to check the slides before you bring them in if there's debris up there. Well, you can use this in order to take a peek up top to see if those slides are clear or if they need to be cleared before you bring them in. It can even help you out with safety because oftentimes you want to check that after a rain and sometimes it gets slippery up there. So this might save you a trip if you don't necessarily need to be up there, while still getting the information to make sure you don't damage the RV when those slides come in.
All right, so if you've got wet swimsuits to hang or other clothes that need to dry out, grab some command hooks and stick them up around the edge of your skylight in your shower. That way you can hang up the wet clothes over the shower. All the water will drip down into the shower pan and head down into your gray tanks. Super simple hack, really easy setup, and it works well. These have really added a lot of functionality to our bathroom, especially when you don't have room to set up a clothesline outside at any given campsite. It's one of those hacks where you're actually using the command hooks as designed as a hook, but possibly in a location you might not have thought of. And before we leave the bathroom, I want to point out these puck lights that we installed. These puck lights, they look just like the rest of the LED puck lights in the entire rig, but there's two tricks that make them a huge upgrade. First time you press them on, you get a red light. Second, you get a yellow light. Now what's really cool is that red light, if the light is controlled by a switch, it turns on and off to the last setting, which means that you could set the red light before you go to bed. You get up in the middle of the night, have to go to the bathroom, you walk in and you turn the light switch on and you've got a red light versus a bright white light that is typically in there. Super awesome for nighttime. The second feature, if you press the button again, it turns to a normal white light. But now if you press and hold it while on the white light, it will dim. And because it will remember the last setting if you turn it on and off with a switch, if you turn it off at the low intensity, the dim setting, it will turn on at that same intensity. And then you can always press and hold it to make it go brighter again. They're very easy to install. Simply turn off your 12-volt power by disconnecting the battery and unplugging your rig from shore power. You'll take that puck light down, cut the wires, splice in the positive and the negative 12-volt wires for the new puck light, and install it where the other one was. Now this makes a ton of sense in the bathroom, but where it also makes a ton of sense is over the master bed. We've got a regular puck light there, and we actually never used it because it was too bright. It's too close to us. Since swapping it out with this upgraded puck light, now we can turn on the red light and have a little more ambiance, or dim it down and use the white light, but at a much lower setting, which is perfect for sitting there and reading a book. The only thing I don't care for when using these without a switch is that you have to cycle through them to turn them off. So on a switch, it has a memory. It remembers what you last had on, turn off with the switch. But standalone, it requires you to cycle through red, white, then off. Minor inconvenience, but the functionality of the red and the dimming white, spot on.
Okay, this is a classic hack for those that have pets or toddlers and want to make sure that they don't go dashing out the screen. Just because it's so easy to be able to pop that and have this open, your kids or dogs could be gone in no time. But from inside, you can reach to close this handle. So that way, if this does open, you got that little extra security, because that's going to be hard for a kid or a pet to be able to open up this. And it's real easy to be able to do right from the inside. Classic hacks are hard to beat.
So if you're finding value in this video and want to stay up to date on the RV industry, all the gear, deals, discounts, make sure you sign up for the RV Gear and Farm newsletter. I'll put a link down in the description below, and we'll make sure to get you all the information that you need to make the best buying decisions for your RV adventures. And this video is not sponsored, but there are ways that you can support the channel. I'll have affiliate links down in the description below to all the gear that we're talking about. Don't go out and buy gear just to buy gear. But if you are going to buy gear, I'd appreciate you starting your shopping with the affiliate links in the description below and supporting the channel.
This one here has a couple of different versions, and I think it possibly could be the MVP tool of setup. For me, it's the tape measure that I keep right here in the door, and I actually remove the clip so that it's not convenient to use on other projects, so it's always going to be in the door of the truck. It never leaves there unless I am measuring for distances and clearances for around the RV once we get pulled into our site. And it's the only tape measure that I ever mark up, so we can have a marking for the living room side, for the bedroom slide, for the height of the hitch, for the clearance of the awning, for trees. You can even use it to make sure you're within reach of your sewer connection if you're a full hookup site. Never fun to get halfway through setup and realize that you need to move the RV and undo everything that you've already set up. So I use the tape measure because it can do so many different things, and the length. A lot of people like to be able to put all those markings on a broom handle, so that way it's just quick and easy to grab to check those clearances. My one caveat is make sure that it's something that is really easy to get to. If there's any kind of hurdles or difficulties getting to it, you're probably not going to end up using it, and you're going to sit there and wonder, I think we're probably good enough, and it's going to end up biting you one of those days. So for me, the cheapest tape measure I can get, keep it in the door of the truck. It's always there to check those clearances. It's a great hack.
All right, now here's a really quick hack on organization of aerosols, things in your outdoor kitchen, nooks and crannies. Aluminum cans that you have from foodstuffs, clean those out and attach them to a piece of board and mount that. The perfect size for aerosol cans. Drop them in, it keeps them in place, super organized. You can also use it for a ton of other things. It just gives a place to hold all those cans and canisters so that space doesn't get filled if that can is out and you're moving some things around. I use them in my pass-through for organization up here. I also use them in the outdoor kitchen to hold things like fire extinguisher spray, oil, water for the Blackstone, bug sprays. Anything in an aerosol can really works well in that. Yeah, it's a really inexpensive hack. Just take cans that you would recycle anyways, screw them down, put them in place. Super inexpensive, super handy.
This little guy is my little troubleshooter inside of the RV. This is the Govee thermo hygrometer. It tells you the temperature and the humidity, but it tracks it so you can look through the history. This one is Bluetooth, but we also have the bigger brother that does Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. This one is a little bit more expensive. It was 30 bucks when we first bought it, but what it does different is the Wi-Fi function. So we've used this as like an internal temperature alert. We have a cat, and when we're gone from the RV, this will send us an alert wherever we're at because it has Wi-Fi connected to the Wi-Fi in the RV and will alert us so we can fix a problem and make sure that our pets are safe. But this little guy, you can use this in so many different ways. We've used this in the fridge when we were having an intermittent problem. We wanted to see and track what the temperature inside the fridge was throughout the day. So if you have a real hot part of the day where your fridge is, this will be able to track that and give you that information. Because it's Bluetooth, you don't have to open and close the door all the time to check the temperature of the fridge. So that's just an example of one of the ways that we've used this guy. Feels like I'm grabbing this all the time and moving it to different locations as I'm testing different things and different products. So handy.
Sometimes you just need a little bit more airflow in the RV. These clip-on fans charge via USB and are absolutely fantastic. Pun intended. We have 3 of them, one for each of the bunk rooms and one in the master bedroom. But sometimes there's no place to clip fans like these that make sense. And so while I love that they're clips and they work great for us, we've been using these guys for a little over 3 years, what I want to point out is adding a bracket to your ceiling with these 2x4 brackets that we got at the hardware store. Using short screws, I screwed them up into the ceiling where we needed them to go. They allow us to mount these fans to the ceiling, essentially making them ceiling fans. Now they don't travel up there, so on travel days we have to take them down, set them on the bed, or put them in a basket. And then we put them back up when we get to our destination. It's also nice that they're battery powered because then we can use them when we're boondocking, and they will also run off of USB while charging. Some devices won't do that, but you can plug these guys in, run the fan, and also charge the battery at the same time. By running USB charging cables up to where we mount these, we pretty much have long-term power. Just making sure to unplug them and run them solely off the batteries every few days to make sure that they're working and recharging correctly. But ultimately, those brackets really make a big difference in being able to mount these fans where we need them. They've worked well for us. It's a cheap solution to be able to have a mounting bracket in a place where there was nothing. And in combination with these fans, they've really performed well for us. All right, so that's only half the gear and half the hacks that we have to highlight for you. Make sure you jump on over to Jared's channel to watch the rest of them. Again, I'm Joshua. You've been watching RV Gear and Far. We'll see you on the next one.